was 91.
Oh, that's started 95.
Everybody good? That's good. Fine.
This was first thing. I don't know who it was. He was retiring in 91.
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming today. I will now call our Walton County Contractors Competency Board meeting to order for 1 July 2025. If you will, stand with me and let's pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First of all, I guess we would like to get an approval of the minutes from the last meeting of May 20, 2025. Have a motion to have that.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
Have a second for that.
I'll second that motion.
So that is taken care of. We would have the swearing in of everyone that will provide testimony. Anybody that you would like to get Ms. Frankie there?
Okay, if anyone's going to be speaking during the hearing at all for any reason, I would just ask that you stand and raise your right hand.
Get over Billy.
Do you swear? Yes, you too. We swear the lawyers too, especially the lawyers. Do you swear or affirm the truth, that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. I'd like to indicate that they've been sworn.
All right, thank you. This is case number 25-05. Matthew Chrissy, the petitioner, against Justin Hammond, the defendant, the contractor. Usually this is where we would ask to have Mr. Billy get up to and explain what is going on, what is the charges and all of that. Tonight, that is not going to be necessary. I think that after looking at what I have read here from the previous meetings that we've had here, and this board had, we told Mr. Justin last time that you was before us that we did not want to see the same kind of thing. We did not want to see you back up here. And the code of ethics for a contractor, you have broken every one of them. There is not one code of ethics that is in any of these contracts that you dealt with these people where any of those were upheld. And I'm going to open the board for any other comments that any of the other board members would like to say. But, and then once, if there's any other comments at this time, anybody?
I definitely will have comments on that. If you're planning to, you have to have evidence and you have to have findings of fact to support any finding. So if you're saying you just trust that everything in there is true and you don't want to have anyone present that, I would highly advise against that.
Okay, well, that is fine. We can have the people come up and they can make their points.
And part of my reasoning is, it's my understanding that this case is just part and parcel of all the other cases from before. It's not like it happened after we all met. It all happened during that same time frame. And I'm not saying that should or should not be part of the board's decision making. I don't know what this board knows about what they've ordered and what has actually been done in those previous cases. I didn't know if you may want to get information on that as well before actually any type of punishment was imposed if you find him guilty. So again, we'll do the same thing we've done before, where you determine guilt or not, and then you go to a penalty. So in order for us to be able to, for you as a board to be able to make a decision that someone is in fact guilty of violating our statutes or our ordinance, you would have to hear that evidence and not just read it. So I would ask you to do that. And then and it probably be a much shorter process than last time because we've kind of worked through some of that. But then after you have made that determination, then we'll have you do the same penalty phase as well, if that happens to be, if you find him guilty of the charges in the same penalty phase. So in order to find him guilty of the particular charge, I would just ask Mr. Bearden to, it doesn't have to be every single thing in here, but I would ask the board that when whoever does make the motion on, if they decide that there's some guilt, just that you give me the reasons why, so I can add that to the order. I'll clarify it here tonight with you all before we leave and make sure that that is what you understand and how you want it presented. And then we can avoid that follow-up meeting by me just making sure I have collected what you all have said. You can tell me yes, and I will type that into the order, and then you can go ahead and authorize Mr. Bailey to sign that, if that would be okay with this board.
All righty, so everybody got to hear what Ms. Frankie, the attorney, has instructed us. So then, Mr. Bailey, if you will, come forward.
Mr. Chair, Ms. White, can I make a statement real quick? I apologize. Sorry, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, it's my understanding that
I would ask that any statement you make that you do it in the microphone because we're being recorded.
Here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair and Board, it was my understanding that this hearing was also supposed to be conducted in April when the other three was heard. That was my understanding, and I apologize if I'm confused in that regard. So, Mr. Chair, I heard what you stated, but I thought that this was going to be a fourth on that day in April, the three we had.
It would have been fine if that was from the prior, when instead of having 3, we would have had 4 up here that night.
Yes, sir.
So this is just an extension of that, and we're going to follow through and let Mr. Bailey
Understood.
go ahead.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll go right through the same process we went through with the other 3.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The complaint you have before you between Matthew Chrissy and Justin Hammond. Mr. Chrissy entered into a contract with Mr. Hammond on 6/24 of 2023 to build a commercial warehouse for $354,000. The complaint states Mr. Hammond requested a large draw of $140,000 for clearing and laying a foundation. On October 28th to 24, $55,000 requested for a rough framing. November 27th to 24, paid $60,000 draw. Discrepancy of the total from complaint. The complaint states that Justin Hammond was paid $225,000. The amount added up to be $255,000. Roughly 70% of the job was paid with 50% completion. The last inspection on record under Justin Hammond was a mono slab approved on October 16th to 24. Mr. Chrissy fired Mr. Hammond on February the 13th to 25. Mr. Chrissy re-permitted the building on February the 13th, 25, to be completed by himself and is still under construction. The count on this complaint is only one count, and it's committing fraud or deceit in the practice of contracting. At this time, we'll ask Mr. Chrissy to come up and speak on how he thinks Mr. Hammond was deceitful.
Very good, then. Mr. Chrissy? Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
I suspect all of you have read my
Yes, sir.
total complaint.
Mr. Chrissy, would you just state your name for the record?
Matthew Chrissy. Every receipt in there is not falsified. Everything has been either reworked, was completely unusable, and I take issue with, I was part of the last hearing. I'm a new hearing, and I'm still not done giving you receipts. I'm still paying for major screw-ups. And I think Billy is aware Now we found that the whole building was put in the wrong spot from the development order. It is 13 feet to the east and 4 feet to the north than where it should have been. Now, after hundreds of thousands of dollars to him, I keep coming back to tens of thousands of dollars of new surveys, new engineering, and then we are 8 weeks behind now from the county trying to get the new development order and drainage plan done. So the only thing I have to say is, what receipt do you guys need clarification on? All the plumbing was ripped out. All the AC venting was ripped out, unusable. None of the windows have been sealed. Sheathing has gone up and not screwed off. Garage doors were framed so incorrectly, I had to get another steel framer in to mount garage doors that I paid for. So what would you guys like to hear?
It's not really like the receipts. Just kind of tell us the story. How'd you meet Justin? What happened? You
Actually, Justin had a good reputation online. So I heard he was the steel building man. At some point between when we signed a contract, 6 months down the road, things started to sound fishy. I started getting calls from people that were on my job that were leaning it because they weren't getting paid, that checks had not been, checks were fraudulent, the steel building company. Then Justin provided us with waivers of liens. That looked sketchy, to say the least. I was told roll-up doors any day now, man doors any day now, interior doors, front doors, oh, they've all been ordered. I've paid for them. They were all paid. They were never ordered. They were never paid for. They were never going to show up. Then when I took over, I got the full meaning of what this building was going to cost. In my opinion, there was no way he could have ever honored this contract, even if he was a competent builder. It would have never happened. There's blacktop, fire hydrants, directional bore drilling. None of that was, there's no way it would have ever been able to be done. So what was the contract except devious? I'm still looking at about $250,000 to finish this building that I'm way over $300,000 in, with a $355,000 contract from this individual. So that's my story. If you need clarification on anything, we have it.
I think that was
That
it.
is
My office
plenty
manager
clear
has
there.
every document you need to see.
It is very, very thorough, very clear. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Chrissy there? Anyone here on the board with a question for Mr. Chrissy? All right, thank you, Mr. Chrissy.
Thanks, guys.
So, Mr. Bailey, in light of what he has said and what you all have read, I would ask for the record that Mr. Bearden is the packet that I received from you, Mr. Bearden, and Ms. Holland, is that the same packet that you shared with all board members?
Yeah.
And I'm getting a yes from Mr. Bearden. And so would you ask, and are you asking to move this packet into the record?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now you can take the items that are in this packet because they've been provided to everyone. Did you send that also to Mr. Hammond, Ms. Holland? Yes. Okay, very good. So Ms., I don't think she's mic'd up, but Ms. Holland assured us she did send that to us. And we do have registered mail receipts that we can attach to any order, correct? From where you sent it? Okay. So we have the same information that we need in order to have a complete record that helped you all, and I know she sent it out to you all, and you've had an opportunity to speak with both Mr. Bearden to present it to you, as well as Mr. Chrissy. So for my purposes, I appreciate you indulging me and making sure that we have a very clear record before we move into any type of discussion with the board. Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Billy, was this package supposed to be included with the last meeting's package?
They asked for it to be, but we already had it booked up at that time, so we chose not to add it to it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to give Mr. Hammond his turn, or his attorney, a time to
Yes.
to give his side of the story. Thank you.
Help me.
Ms. White, Mr. Chair, Ms. Board, can I have a 2-minute recess with my client out in the hall? Is that fine?
I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. We'll be back.
2-minute recess then.
Yes, sir. 2, 3, thank you. We'll be right. Mr. Chair and the board, we don't really have, we disagree with some things in the complaint, but we don't have a whole lot to add. We do want to state, again, for the record, that, my client wishes that this would have been heard a couple, 2-3 months ago, but we're here, we're back. And I know each one of y'all said y'all don't want to see him or me again. I get that. But, all 4 of these matters kind of they're kind of all hitting on this 489.1 statute. Further, if the worst case scenario happens today, we still have we're about 30 days out on one of these other ones. 35, 34. To get it resolved. We followed all the steps from the last meeting, so far as I know, to the T. And again, on the other matter, I know that's not what's at issue today, but on one of the other matters, he's pretty close to getting it resolved. So we're kind of closing the book on some of these cases. I do understand that Mr. Chrissy is here, and it's another matter, but I read the complaint. I read it 5 or 6 times. Based on Mr. Chrissy's testimony, I'm trying to get a understanding of where the fraud and deceit took place. But we're going to we'll just rest our case, and we'll let the board make its decision.
All right, thank you, sir.
Sir.
Do I have anybody who would like to?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to revoke his license.
I would like to ask him some personal questions.
Hold on,
Hold on.
Justin, come back up here. Then Mr. Hogan has some questions
I
for
would
you.
just like to ask, where is the money that caused all this problem? That's my concern. That man, he's out of $500,000, that's $500,000 in the FUNAC.
Yes, sir.
We can't spend that, I can't. I'm a car lot guy for 26 years.
I understand. So we were actively working on the project whenever we were terminated. We were trying to get it finished up. I had a garage door guy scheduled to come out the next day and install the garage door guys. He was going to fix the framing that was at hand. I got fired before I was able to finish anything.
Okay, my second question, I'm born and raised in Walden County. My name is worth $1 million, my bank account ain't worth $1,000 hardly.
Yes, sir.
But where's the contract ethics, where I owe that man an apology if I goofed up? If I fell off the side of the building, I owe Mr. Chrissy an apology. Man, look here, this ain't playing. I got the biggest stupid apology in the world. I hadn't heard none of that.
I absolutely apologize. I apologize to everybody.
But I'm talking about, I'd have been on my knees, probably apologize. Because, I mean, somebody got to be the top idiot. But I sure wouldn't want that man to feel good about me if he didn't give me $500,000 of his hard-earned money. I just can't digest that being from the FUNAC.
We only got 225. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure.
That's first cousin to 500.
No, I know. I just want to make sure.
255? Yeah, because I wrote that down. That's a lot of money, Mr. Hammond, Walden County. I'm a property owner, and I'd love to have my hands on that. But I'm missing something out of this picture. That's why I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Please fill in the gaps for me.
What the percentage of the job?
Yeah, so we had a lot of percentage of the job completed. We already had all of our inspections done for plumbing, rough end, footings. Everything was all framed up. Everything, all the exterior metal was on the building.
Yeah.
All the insulation was already in. We actually had a partial inspection on the framing. That's not on the record because we did a partial inspection in order to be able to do the insulation in the building.
And why is he having to go back and redo it?
That I don't know. I don't have any
He
information
said he
on
had to
that.
tear his plumbing out.
I don't have any evidence on any of that or any information on any of that. I'm sorry.
But the stories, so I'm going to amend my motion to start with, just to say that, just to get that out. But from one thing that I notice is this is habitual. This is habitual. I mean, it's on paper. You know it's on paper. You've seen it happen. We're here again. Whether this was supposed to be handled at our last meeting or not, I wanted to revoke your license last time. And I think this being the fourth time, it just shows that this is a pattern and you're not going to correct it because you've had 3 years to correct it. You've been doing this for 3 years to people. 3 years. I don't know how this shows pattern.
We've actually, since our last meeting, we've actually stopped doing any contracting work whatsoever in Walton County. We haven't taken on any new contracts and don't plan to.
Thank the Lord for that.
Well, let me say this in fairness, Justin. The reason I wasn't high on taking your contract license, and I'll tell you specifically, that 84-year-old lady that had $100,000 just scooped out of her hand, hard work money. In 84 years, I'm sure all her money didn't come to her like mine. Car sales money and rental property comes a lot easier than hard work earned money. And it just didn't sit well with me. And then a young, honest contract man that I knew would do somebody like that. I couldn't gravitate it. It hurts me from the inside. What if that was my mama, my auntie? What if I was Justin? How would that make me look in Walden County? How would I expect people to feel when they look at Mr. Hogan? I probably need to just quit the church. I get a church a bad name, they see me going there. So this is asking a lot. And I'll close with that.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. Anybody else on the board have any comments? Or Mr. Hammond, or his attorney?
Yes, Mr. Christie said that the building was put in the wrong place, so you didn't have any
We did. We had surveys done.
as-built surveys done?
We based our building off of the surveys that we were provided, yes, sir.
So you're saying you put it in the right spot as far as your
What we were
survey?
provided by our surveyor, yes, sir.
Your surveyor.
Yes, sir.
How did it get that far off?
I'm not sure. I was never aware of it being off until just now.
Okay. But you're,
We pulled measurements from the setbacks, just like what the surveyor
maybe-
gave us, yes, sir.
well, we can go back to that if we need to. I'm not sure that we need to, but I'm curious about that. So the survey that you put it in that spot, and you had an as-built when you got the slab done?
Yes, sir, we were fixing to get the as-built done as we were working on the framing.
But it was or was not the same one you turned in to planning and zoning
What's that?
for
I'm sorry.
the development order?
We did have one turned into the development order, yes, sir.
So you put it in that spot that showed on the development order?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We pulled off of the setbacks and the marked property lines and put it where we were told to put it, yes, sir.
Okay, well, I misunderstood Mr. Christie. I thought he said that it was not in the spot on the development order.
I haven't seen where it has been proven that it was off, but, I mean, he did say that it was off. But we basically pulled off of the property lines that we were given and the survey that we were given.
Who gave you the survey?
Land engineering.
I mean, but you ordered them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just needed to amend my motion, so if you guys have anything else to say? I'm going to amend my motion to find Mr. Hammond guilty of count 1.
I'll second that.
So I have a motion and a second for guilty on the count 1 there. We also have the second count there. Do I have a motion for it?
Wait, there's only one. We only had one.
Oh, that was the seat and all of it together there. The last time that we were here, Mr. Hogan's, he said that he didn't want to see you back up here. I said the same thing. I went and I have thought and I have studied and I have pondered. And I go right back to if he comes in and he says, well, I've got started and I'm taking care of it, that is not impressive. That was expected to begin with. Then, if they was to come in here and say, well, I was able to get started on it and we got this. No, that was 2 years later. There is nothing that Matt can come up with that says, okay, there's enough crickets here to go fishing with. The only thing I come back to every time is honest integrity and accountability in their work. It engages duties to the public, clients, and the industry, promoting fairness, impartiality, land, and professionalism. How do you think you feel you went up there with all of that, Justin? You didn't do very good at all. And as the state of Florida, when they make us a contractor, that's what they expect of us. Then when we become for Walden County and we register here, then Mr. Bailey, he is going to oversee that we make sure we do that. And then this board is put in place that if anybody comes in here like you, that we could shed of that.
Yep.
And so now I will make the motion. Did we revoke
I'm sorry.
Mr. Hammond's license?
He made you're the chair, so if you want to pass the gavel, you can make the motion, I'm sorry, or you can entertain a motion.
All right.
We got to vote all in favor of the first.
All in favor of the first motion there for guilty?
Aye.
Aye.
So
Any other comments?
now you can hand down the who when we determine.
So now, right, you can move into the penalty phase, and you can make the motion now. Mr. Bailey can't, even though he won't, although he may want to bad enough to pass his gavel and do it. But
I'll make the motion again. I motion to have your license revoked.
I second.
I have a motion to have Mr. Hammond's license revoked, and then I have a second to have this done. Any other questions or comments?
We got to vote.
Let's all vote then.
And
All in favor?
before you
Aye.
do the final vote, would you please just make sure there's no other further comment, and then that way it closes it out?
Any other further comments out there?
So I understand your verdict, your choice on that. I only have one question. How do I go about finishing the projects that we have open in Walton County? I only have 2, but if my license does get revoked, how do I go about taking care of trying to finish those? Because I do have intention to fix both of those jobs.
So would the board like to inquire what 2 projects he has going?
Give us, okay, yeah, what 2 projects do you have, and don't give us your timeline, give us a true timeline.
Well, one is the Valerio job.
Right.
We've got about 35 days left on it. I think we
Okay.
had 90 total is what we were given. I'm going to use about 65, but we should have that one finished in about 35 days. And then the other job is on Kidd Road, and we've got about 45 to 60 days on that one.
Your license it expires in August anyway, right?
Yes, sir. My state license, yes, sir.
So then, with that expiring in August, that would give him in August to get these other little jobs done, and then he just would not be able to renew his license.
Well, I do believe in the statute, there is in the statutes that if you lose your license or if he were to pass away, then the job can keep running up to, I think, six months to get it finished.
You
Is that-
could make
is that-
part of your motion, if you just wanted to be clean and make sure, if you know the date that his license is going to terminate, if you want to make it the revocation effective that day, I can type it up that way.
PR shows that as August of this year.
And if this board would like to strongly encourage Mr. Hammond not to take any other jobs in this county, as he's already done so, I think that would make a lot of
Well,
sense.
with that, sorry, one other question. Revocation of my license in Walton County, is that a DBPR issue or is that a county-wide issue?
This Contractor Competency Board governs your Walton County license. And so you can't do work in Walton County because this board is revoking your Walton County license.
I understand.
Your state license is with the state, and that would be, because not all counties have a Contractor Competency Board, if I'm correct. They should, but if they're small, they may not. I don't know. I don't know what Holmes County has or what it looks like, but if, that's with them. But this board governs this county.
Understood.
Okay, so with that being said, why, I'm asking the board here, why don't we give them 90 days and then revoke it? Because that gives them time to finish those jobs.
Hold up, Mr. Hammonds, I got a question. please.
Because we're revoking his license in Walton County no matter what. What he does in the state, that's on him. That's on other counties. That's not on us. So why don't we give him the 90 days? Because it was like, you said it was 35 and 35?
35 and 65.
35 and 65? Yeah, let's call that 90 days. And let's give him 90 days.
Let me ask you one more question.
So we don't have to renew his county license.
Well,
No, his state expires in August.
The county as well.
Oh, his county as well. Oh,
Let me
I
ask you.
thought it was just the state.
Billy.
Okay, right.
Billy, can
I hear you.
he finish, if we revoke his license, can he finish these jobs out?
No.
Not that I know we cannot. But,
That was a big no from Joyce.
My question to Mr. Hammond was,
Sorry.
what's your intention of the other people you owe? That man you owe $500,000. How are you going to complete that with just slapping you on the hand? Now, you're going to complete these 2 jobs you asked us, say you almost completed. Are you going to take that money and reinstate Mr. Chrissy back there?
We're working on that. Yes, sir. I'm trying.
No, I'm not looking for working. We was working on it before we came up here before us.
Understand.
But it's not working out good. And your name is not good. See? For people to put that kind of money in a person's hand, you got to be credible at some point. And I mean, that's a lot to lose. And I told you the elder lady gets my passion. Because you took $100,000 from her, in which I bred that in my heart. Now he's got almost $500,000. I mean, where would we use that in Walton County? Where can we do that and expect to have a good name? And people gonna hire you, trust you. And I'm just not hearing enough remorse from you. You said, let me complete these other 2, like Mr. Chrissy don't matter, the lady lost $100,000 don't matter.
I didn't mean it that way. They absolutely.
Well, I
do
mean,
matter,
I'm
but
taking it that way because I'm a business guy.
No, what I'm getting at, I guess, is I don't want to put another customer in the same situation as I've done these customers.
Right.
I'm trying to make sure that I do things.
And I guess my answer from a business standpoint is, what in the world did you do with the money?
We just got behind on some jobs.
That don't explain the money.
That doesn't explain the
Did I
money.
get robbed?
Doesn't
We
explain the
definitely-
money.
Did I
When
dig
you
a hole
follow the
and throw
money,
it
that
in?
doesn't make sense.
We definitely underbid a lot of.
Did I go to the casino with it?
I'm sorry.
Did I go to the casino with it?
No,
You
sir.
gotta have some means of getting rid of that type of money. And I told you, I'm born and raised here. You couldn't rob Mr. Hogan for that kind of money, because I won't put my eggs in the same basket.
I can promise you I don't have anything
So-
to show for it, and I didn't take it to any casino.
But you're putting us in a bad position because
Right.
now we're having to, since we want to revoke your license, we're having to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Right, cut your head off to spite your hand. And that ain't good. A man with no money can't pay nobody. I worked in the jail system. We put you in jail, you can't pay nobody. That's a debt goes unpaid. Now, we can promise you when you get out that if you work or ever win the lotto, we might get a miracle debt. But other than that, we just SOL.
I mean, so where are we as a board now? I mean,
Right.
honestly, on making sure that we can
Drawing the
somehow
line.
square up the previous cases that we've already
Right.
been in. This is what brings us all back to this being tried on different days. I mean, if we revoked you back then, you wouldn't be able to square them up. We're revoking you now, and guess what? You still can't square them
Come
up.
up.
Where are we?
And the next old lady that's got 200,000 willing to trust you, she can't do that. Not if she talked to Mr. Hogan. Don't do it. Go without it. Don't do it. See? And it's just too many ways to make that right, Mr. Hammond's in Walden County. We got banks, financial institution. It's just too many other means.
What choices do we have?
Yeah.
So, are you guys finished with
Yes.
Mr. Hammond? Okay.
I'm done.
So, based on what I'm hearing from this board, I'll tell you what I'm hearing, and if you disagree with what I'm hearing, please state it, because I'm going to put it in this order. He's guilty of the as charged, and you would like to keep his, and how much does it cost to renew his contractor license? Do you know roughly?
Are you a resident?
Holmes County.
You're not, right? 150?
So $150. If he's finished with all of his jobs by the time, or these two jobs, if he's finished with these two jobs, I would save the $150. I wouldn't renew my license. His license will only be good to the extent that he's finishing these two jobs based on what we're saying, because after these two jobs are finished, then it's over. As an employee of the county, I want to thank you all for your service. I know that makes it very hard. Not only are you a member of this industry and you take very seriously people abusing your trade and your livelihood, and I appreciate that. And so I don't want you to feel like what you're doing doesn't matter. It matters more than ever, I'd say, and thank you. But also to let you know that once this job is finished, we can do the order that it's revoked. And as for the other people, I mean, we've seen the evidence. I've sat here and listened to what you've listened to, and you know what I know, which is Mr. Hammond doesn't have $500,000 in the bank to pay all these people back, is what I would guess. I don't need Mr. Hammond to tell me that. I'm sure we all know that. And quite frankly, I'd like to ease your mind by saying your job is just to make sure that contractors treat people fairly to the extent possible, and that's all you can do. You have taken the action. This is not something that you should take personally on that front. What you've taken personally is this is a person in our industry, and I want better for my industry, and I appreciate and applaud that. But the courts are available as remedies for people. And just like you said, if someone's in jail or somewhere they can't get a remedy, that's the cost of doing business sometimes, Mr. Hogan's, that nobody likes to talk about. And it's very unfortunate. And I don't say that glibly for the likes of Mr. Chrissy and, you know, our other people who came before us. I hate it for them just like you do. And I think it's a very bad position. But, you know, sometimes people do get back on their feet. He won't get back on his feet in Walton County, as we know. But what if he does? Mr. Chrissy will have the ability to get a lien against him and get paid back at some point in the future. Mr. Hammond's a younger man. He may very well make another fortune, and maybe he'll be able to share it with these people that if they get a judgment against him. So I just want to encourage this board by letting you know that the part that you can do, you're doing, and the part that you cannot, there are remedies for these people. They're not easy remedies, and they may not mean very much in this moment whenever Mr. Hammond doesn't have anything. So I just want to let you know we can draft it that way if the board's amenable to that. And what I did bring was a copy of the order, if you'll pass those around for me. I brought a copy of the order that I did in the other ones and just put Mr. Chrissy's name and put some blanks here so that you all could look at the form of this order and make sure that you agree with it. And then I will put in here the items that we've discussed tonight so that the board can authorize Mr. Bailey to sign this if you're in agreement with this particular sentence. And I've talked enough. I'll leave it over to y'all.
Yes, this is basically straight out of the 489, that is the truth there.
So I guess the question to the board, so if we put a revocation of his license for Halloween, October 31st, he'll have to renew his license and then it will get revoked, right? There's our, right? And we can also say he cannot take on any new jobs. And that can be our attempt to try to get them hold, and if it doesn't happen, then unfortunately.
Any new job.
Right, exactly.
2 he needs to complete. He says he can complete within 9 days.
I guess so.
Before the license expires.
Yeah.
You feel like that is the truth, you get them done before
That's
that?
30 days now. It's July now.
Huh?
What is revoked?
August,
The last of
September,
August?
October.
Yeah, August 31st.
Oh, so got 2 full months.
Expired.
When
Okay.
it expires, so he's got,
Mr. Chrissy back there.
Right.
Because based on his paper, how about Mr. Chrissy?
Mr. Chrissy sealed the deal for that man's license, is what Mr. Chrissy did. That is just what happened.
speak one more time?
Yes.
Come ahead, Mr. Chrissy.
It's my opinion, he's incapable of this job. All of it was subpar. Idiotic things in plumbing, in framing, in AC, no planning, no foresight. I've been a subcontractor my whole life, guys. It's not just bad business. He took your test and he studied, and it's open book. The fact that a tape measure was supposedly pulled on my property, I think Billy can attest, we're still in planning to get my drain water still reworked. We are in planning right now because the development order was not followed. Now, I can read a tape. I assume most of you can. So if you're telling me that 13 feet doesn't mean anything in a foundation with 2 buildings on a development order and a rainwater study, it means a lot. It either means you don't care or you can't do. That's what it means. That's it. Either way,
It ain't good.
I'm not here to try to get money. That's gone. My money's gone. I've been a plasterer my whole life, man. I worked for this money. That's not the case. The case is, my opinion is, this can't be done by this individual. It cannot, he
And this
cannot
board
build.
is agreeing with you, sir.
Well, 2 years of no license, 1 year of a suspension. I'm saying, I'm not sure this guy is capable of building.
we're revoking his
Revoking
license.
his license.
Ever.
Yeah, we're revoking his license.
Okay.
Like,
I just wanted
now
to
in the
say
state
my
of Florida,
piece. This
that's
is-
I want
another
you to know
question.
too, sir, that you coming forward is what did that.
Well, thank you. I mean,
That is the reason
we're not
we
looking
need
at money
more
here.
homeowners to come forward and tell people, come before the boards where they are established
Right.
and tell people what's going on.
Right.
We had the 3 there, and this may have been the reason why you come tonight instead of, if you would have been here the other night, it may have been stretched out
Why?
to
Right.
where it did not get revoked. But now you
I'm
go
glad of
into,
that.
and some of us get a little more study on this, and I went into the actual ethics of what we all sign up for.
Right. Right.
This young man knows all of them things much better than that. I coached him in Little League. This little fella knows better. His grandmother beat him with a peach tree switch. He knows better.
Right. Right.
And this is the end of it. That is the reason I said that when I come in here this afternoon, when I got that in the mail, that was the end of that.
Okay. Well, I
But
appreciate
thank
your
you.
time. Yeah, thank you, guys. This makes us all look bad, the whole industry.
In all fairness, we moan for your loss, because I don't care how easy your money comes, it's yours.
It didn't come
It's for
easy, and
your
money
use.
comes and goes.
Yeah,
This
but
isn't
sometimes it
about
does
money.
for
This
different
is-
people, but honesty, it's only one rule.
Well, there's going
either
to be
got it or
another
you like
person,
it.
you know?
See,
Alrighty, so then,
Yeah.
thank you again, Mr. Chris.
Thanks, guys.
Anybody else? Have any comments?
I'm done.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. They're telling people to get 3 bids to do a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we've lost that logic. You'll build a big project like that, you need 3 prices. Check on this guy. See who his plumbers, electricians is, who's been in business. I've been in business 30-something years. And I would not tackle a job that's over $3 million. If I ain't got the money to do that job, I wouldn't take it. You know, that's why you gotta have, something always go wrong. So that's, you know, as our ethical things, you should always get 3 bids. If you're hiring a plumber, get 3 prices. Electrician, 3 prices. Air conditioning man, 3 prices. And your contractors, that's who you deal with. So if your contractor does, it costs more than likely to have a licensed plumber on that job. Or a licensed AC man, he said to tear it out, but people I know, it's gonna be right, something's wrong with it. The plumbing and electrical's wrong.
Billy, a question for you, Billy. Do a contractor have to be bonded?
Not as far as I know, not with us.
You don't? They make us car salesmen, we have to be bonded.
If you're registered and you go to a different, someplace that you're not certified, they'll ask for a bond, and some of
Yeah,
those little.
because usually our bond covers stuff like this, up to a certain amount.
All righty then. Anybody else? Any more comments, questions?
It's just a matter of what when are we revoking it?
Do you have it in the way that you cast that out, that I signed that? That is what you're going to go?
I'm going to go back and type in. I didn't do the verdict because I didn't want to take your word, but I've gotten what you said. I'm going to put in that that he was found guilty. It was determined that the contractor was deceitful and fraudulent in his practice of contracting. So I'm going to fill that in there, and then and I will put that he. I guess I'll put. If the board would like, do you want me to put any of the dollars and cents, or do you just want me to put that the work, what was fraudulent, what was deceitful?
You need to put the dollars and cents in there too, just as he said that if anything come up with Mr. Christie down the road, that he would be able to get his money back.
Put a lien on his.
Well, that will go through as that. I mean, that if he did that, that would have to be a court. I think.
Have our money listed.
But he could have the facts of this case. But if Mr. Christie elected to go forward in a civil complaint against him through the court system, he would have to file all this stuff with the courts as well. And so they would be the ones to do that. We don't do liens through this board. But the fraudulent and deceitful was that he took the money and was never going to properly do the job and hold up the ethics of this industry. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Is that your findings?
Yes.
Are those your findings? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so I will place that in this first, where you see the 3 lines, I'll place that information in there. And then and then it says the mail receipts as attached will show, and this is just checking the box for the things that we have to find, such as he's aware, he received notice, he's here, and then under, it says the board, and I'm going to put revokes his license as of 10/31/25, if that's, I think that's going to be part of Mr. Holmes's motion, in order to make sure that's 90 days out. There's no question. It's my understanding, and this won't be in the document, but if he somehow finishes it before his license is up for renewal in Walton County, he's not going to waste $150, and I understand that. So he just wouldn't renew. He would close out those jobs, and he wouldn't do any more. And then we would also, and I'm going to put, because it's not statutorily provided that you can tell him he can't take new jobs, I'm going to put in there that the board encourages him not to accept any new jobs because of the short amount of time left on his license with this county. So I will put that language in there so that it's clear that you are encouraging him not to take any more jobs. I believe there's been a certain amount of good faith in not taking any new jobs that I will acknowledge from Mr. Hammond. He realizes where this board sits with him, and he hasn't since that time. He has paid Miss Orlando some money. The first $5,000 payment was made. He owes the other $5,000 payment to Miss Orlando. That time frame hasn't come up yet. That's within the 60 days. And then I know, based on what he just told us, he's working with the Walerios. So it seems he has elected to do the things that you've told him to do. So I'm hopeful that he will take that strong admonition of the board to not do that. So that will be in there. But other than that, I won't put anything, because that's really all that we're doing.
At the, for me then, for the motion of penalty, we've taken care of that. You just explained that.
Right.
So can we close?
Do I need to say?
So you want
because
to, is that your full motion?
a full motion would be September 31st, right?
September
That'd be
31st.
For September 31st.
Okay.
So that'd be 90. That's literally 90 days from today, right?
All righty.
So do I need to?
Yeah,
September 30th. There's 30 days.
30th.
Yeah.
So my motion is to revoke Mr. Hammond's license come effective September 30th, 2025, and we encourage him not to take any more jobs here in Walton County.
Right.
Okay. That is a motion. So,
On the offenses, it does have fines in there, not just revocation. So we need to speak about that as well. So
Is there a
guilty of that
minimum
offense,
fine?
But we didn't issue a fine in there. So you want to amend your motion for a fine?
You can't get blood out of a turnip.
That goes to the state.
I think that is redundant.
Yeah, I think it's
So it goes to the
redundant.
state, so if he doesn't pay the state, he's got to deal with them.
it's going to the building department. We determined, Joy was able to speak with the state, and then they got those fines for the last time. The actual administrative fees will go to the Walton County building department. So it won't actually go to the state, so the state's not going to come after anybody. So if you don't address any more fines, there won't be.
My opinion on that, Mr. John, I don't think we need to address no more fines on the man. He's earned them, but I don't think any more would be done any good. You know, you can only beat the blood out of the turnip about 30 times.
So many times.
Oh, that's
All
over.
right, then.
So we need to
Is that your
second.
motion?
The motion is to revoke Mr. Hammond's license effective September 30th, 2025, and we highly suggest he does not perform any more contracting duties here in Walton County now or after.
I second.
I have a motion to revoke Mr. Hammond's license September 30th of 2025, and that this board suggests that Mr. Hammond pursues no more work in Walton County thereafter. Any comments or questions on the,
Mr. Chair, I just want to make sure, for clarification on the order, I just want to make sure we have the correct license that's going to be revoked. Will that be on the order?
Yes.
Okay, ending in 3749, which is what is on the complaint. You want me to announce the full license number?
It's not necessarily, is his only license. I mean, if you would like.
Mr. Hammond has he's a roofing contractor. But that issue today is just
each one
solely.
of the licenses that are bound to that job and to all of those jobs, that is the his registered
General contractor?
general contractor license
So
is the one
if you would
that
like
we're
to read
working-
that on the record, then that will revoke his general contractor license in Walton County. So
I
if you would
can
like
read
to,
it on the
yes, you can
record.
read
Yes,
that. And
ma'am.
I will, and is it okay with you all if I give that number and put it in the order?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay? Go ahead and read that,
Just for
please.
clarification, thank
Uh-huh.
you. RB 29003749.
RB 29003749.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Anything else?
And then now you're going to give your vote.
George seconded, we did not vote.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? All right, the revocation, it is then carried. That is, our next item that we have here is building official to cover resignation of board member.
Mr. Chair, can we be excused?
Yes, you may be excused.
Yeah, we had one board member resign. He missed quite a few meetings anyway, so he resigned. We're in the process of replacing him. Hope to have that done in the next couple of weeks or so. It was a building contractor that he resigned from the board. So as soon as we get there, we'll have the board member. We got two more not here tonight. I guess they're sick and whatever. So, but we replace them as soon as we can. So we'll have a full board again. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Billy. Then, if there is then no other questions or comments, this will adjourn this meeting for 1 July 2025. And I said this was going to be a quick one.
It was quick. It was quick. It was very quick.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, just sit here.
That one right there.
See y'all tomorrow.
That one right there.